Welcome back. We are going to kick off our show on this Monday by something fun, interesting that you can watch. There's an all-new series on Discovery Plus called Chasing Ocean Giants. I recently spoke with the ocean explorer that is doing it all. Especially interesting that many of these animals in the ocean, these giants, he goes and observes and gets in the water with during times when they are feeding. It's a fabulous conversation. Let's take a look at it right now.
Come face to face with the largest and most mysterious creatures in the ocean in the new Discovery Plus series, Chasing Ocean Giants. Today I'm speaking with ocean explorer, adventurer, and filmmaker, Patrick Dykstra. Thank you so much, Patrick, for being here.
Oh, thank you, Christine. I appreciate you having me on.
So tell me more about what made you decide to become this ocean explorer, adventurer, or filmmaker. Really, you are exploring the vast depths of the ocean and doing things no one has ever done before. And what made you decide to embark on this?
Well, I think the biggest draw for me was when I started to realize more and more how little we know and understand about the biggest creatures to ever inhabit the planet. These great whales and other giants of the sea. You would expect that we would know even basic information about these animals, but really we don't. I mean, we have very little information on, where a lot of whale species breed, how many there are. There are species out there that we've only ever seen one time from one specimen, and it was really that realization that made me think, we've got to learn more about these animals before it's too late. Frankly, there's a lot changing in our oceans, and so that really made me want to get out there as soon as possible and start learning and sharing with the world as much information as I can about these incredible animals.
Each episode is a new quest where you free dive and swim as close as humanly possible to these giants, which helps you really, of course, see more of them, but it's also very dangerous. And it seems that sometimes you have to do this, in fact, when they're feeding.
Yeah, there's some times in there where it was obviously a bit too close. You can see in the Norway episode, for example, I was out filming killer whales and documenting how they feed on herring in northern Norway. And what I didn't realize is there was a humpback whale lurking down below, and it came up at just lightning speed and took the entire ball of herring that they were methodically feeding on. And I was effectively in that ball and almost went in the mouth of the humpback whale, which would have been unfortunate for both of us, I think. And there was no ill intent, but sometimes when you're in their food, the whales have other priorities. And so, yeah, that one was pretty exhilarating for sure.
Yeah, just amazing that you made it out and were okay. What is it about filming them and being with them when they are feeding? Why is that a good time to observe them?
Well, often you have to work with these animals on their own terms because they are the master of their domain out there in the ocean. And we as humans, even if we're, by human standards, a very good swimmer and free diver, by their standards, you're pretty pathetic. And so I think they often look at me trying to keep up with them and swim around with them and feel sorry for me because you just can't do it. But when they're feeding, they'll often slow down and be distracted by a different task. And at that point, you can sort of hang on the margins and get in there with them and see what they're doing, how they feed, how they work together. And you can see that in several of the episodes. But often that doesn't stop them from colliding with me. You see in the Panama episode when I was in filming a fish ball at the surface that spotted dolphins and yellowfin tuna were working together to feed. There are several times in there where a 200 plus pound yellowfin tuna smashes into me as it's trying to get into that bait ball.
Gosh, it's just incredibly intriguing. Do you generally stay on the surface and snorkel, or do you ever go deeper?
No, you have to go deeper, and part of that is to be more in their world, and also part of it is to hold the camera stable. The surface of the ocean can be quite bouncy even on a calm day, and really getting beneath the surface allows you to hold much more still and hold the camera still. And also they accept you a bit more. You're a bit of an outsider if you're just floating on the surface, but if you can free dive down closer to them, they tend to accept you more and allow you to come into their world a little bit more.
And this is, as I've mentioned, something that really no one has done quite like this before. But when you look back on individuals who have done similar things, do you have any people that you really look up to, hope to emulate, or meet someday who are in kind of the same sphere?
Sure. I mean, Chasing Ocean Giants was a great opportunity for me to work with some real guys that I idolize. In several of the episodes, we had Tom Fitz as one of our underwater camera operators, and Tom's won 7 Emmy Awards for his film work, and is just an incredible underwater cameraman and incredible at getting close to these whales. And a lot of this show is us working together to get close to these whales. So that was really exciting for me. And obviously, there are people who have done a lot of underwater film work for decades, and being able to work with a lot of those people was really fulfilling. And in addition to that, you'll see in a lot of the episodes we work with the world's top whale scientists and experts, and these are people that I also look up to a lot. And so, getting to collaborate with the world's top whale scientists, Dr. Shane Garrow, Dr. Auden Rickardson, Dr. Olga Spack, Dr. Carrie Seeger. They're featured throughout these episodes, and we're out there working together to film and learn things that have never been done before about these animals.
And you, in fact, had a completely different career before you started doing this. Tell me more about that.
Uh, yeah, I was a corporate lawyer for 8 years, working in contract law mainly for a lot of the world's biggest multinational companies, and so yeah, it was a complete career change for me. I worked in our Los Angeles office, and I also opened and worked in our Dubai office, both of which are coastal. And so often from my office window, I could keep one eye on my computer screen while I'm drafting contracts, and one eye out on the ocean. And eventually the pull was just too strong. I couldn't spend any more time at that desk working in corporate law. I had to be out in the sea learning about these animals.
Do you think after tuning in to Chasing Ocean Giants, people will feel terrified, intrigued, excited to learn more about these giants?
Well, hopefully it gives people an appreciation for these animals, because what we've tried to do, and I hope we did successfully with Chasing Ocean Giants, is be a bit sneaky with our educational facts and science, because a lot of that stuff is a bit dry if you just get it given to you directly. But with Chasing Ocean Giants, we packaged all of this incredible information about these animals in an adventurous format, and we really take the audience with me and the scientists on this journey, and don't hold anything back. We show when our boat sinks, we show when we get stranded places because we're so remote, and we just put that stuff in there to let people see really how challenging and interesting and difficult this work is in these remote parts of the world.
It's an incredibly beautiful, inspiring, terrifying show. I'm so excited for everyone to see it. Chasing Ocean Giants. All 8 episodes are now available for streaming on Discovery Plus. Patrick, Dykstra, thank you so much for joining us today on Park City Television. It's been fascinating and such a pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks, Christine. I appreciate you having me on.